Hello everyone, this is a song about you moving to the Philippines. I generated it on a site called Suno, S-U-N-O .ai. You can do the same and listen to it. Let me know what you think. I'm also going to give you an update on the water crisis and a little bit about a foreigner, Australian, who just got life in prison here in the Philippines, place you probably don't want to spend the rest of your life. In prison, that is, in the Philippines prison system.
Packed my bags, left my home behind. Crossed the ocean with love on my mind. A foreigner chasing a different dream. In the heart of the Philippines, where love is supreme. From the countryside to the bustling streets, I found paradise where two hearts meet. She's a Filipina with a smile so sweet, a love story in the making that can't be beat. From country roads to coastal breeze, I found love on these Philippine seas. Hand in hand we'll dance beneath the moonlight, a foreigner and a local, united in this island love so right, so right.
There you go. I generated a few different types and styles, and I'll show you up here in the the upper left-hand corner. You hit the create sign. You got a library where your various songs go in, and it creates about a 2-minute song. It can. And just to the right of where it says create, you type in what you want, and I typed in country music style, foreign moving to the Philippines to meet a girl. I hit create, and took less than 2 minutes to come up with 2 versions of the lyrics. You're allowed to share it. You're allowed to download it and use it. Anyway, Suno is one of dozens and dozens of AI, artificial intelligence companies out there. Been messing around a little bit with them here the last week, and you can Chat GPT and others. You can chat and have a conversation with the type of software. You can generate images. You can generate videos, and it's getting better by the week. And it's just amazing. You can do text to speech. You can do text to video. Just unbelievable what you can do with these various things. But there is a learning curve involved in it anyway. So anyway, let me know what you think there. And anyway, get on to some stories here. Jumping over to the Inquirer.net, one of several online newspapers here. Australian gets 40 years in jail for rape. Pretty much life in prison. I'm not sure if they have early parole here or not. An Australian living in the Philippines for more than a decade has been convicted of sexually abusing a Filipina in 2013. Oh, that's what, 11 years ago. Justice takes a long time here at the court system, very drug out. DOG Regional Trial Court in Bulacan found Ronald Ian Cole guilty of rape and sentenced him to imprisonment of up to 40 years, in addition to paying the victim 225,000 pesos in damages. Here's another related Aussie child sex offender to spend 129 years in jail. DOG disclosed that the complainant lived in the house owned by the accused, who had been permanently living in the country since 2011 under a special resident retirement visa, SRRV. Woman alleged that sometime in January 2013, while she was ill, the suspect drugged her and repeatedly raped her. The accused denied the accusation, but Judge Salamat ruled that the complainant sufficiently established the fact of rape and guilt of the accused. The DOJ said Cole was also facing charges for qualified trafficking in persons at another family court. Another story here, Batanes, which is an island group on the north end of Luzon Island. So Batanes has Balikatan site. U.S. Army execs arrived to build warehouse. And this basically is for a humanitarian warehouse to have pre-packed, because they are subject to typhoons as they come this direction. Then they often move north up towards Taiwan, and they're right in line to feel the effects of many of the typhoons that come this way, as well as they've had quite a number of earthquakes. And it is a one of the tourist areas, popular tourist area as well. Two ranking U.S. United States Army engineers arrived Friday to prepare construction of a humanitarian logistics warehouse as part of this year's Balikatan shoulder-to-shoulder military exercises between American and Filipino forces. Another story of interest to many of you, the exchange rate here in the Philippines. $1 US equals 56.5 Philippine peso, so relatively high yet. And this chart kind of exaggerates what's going on here, but if you want to know your countries, like the UK pound, to the peso, to the dollar, to the euro, UK pound 71.3286, Canadian dollar 41.6639, Australian dollar 37.1536. You can go down here if you want to check. I know some of you come from Thailand, and you can see what the baht brings you here as well. Korea won. So when I came in 2015, this was 48.5 peso to the US dollar. So I'm happy with anything over 50. Well, this is a follow-up to a previous video I did about water crisis in the Philippines. And in 2015, when I came here during the rainy season, the Philippines was in a drought situation, and that didn't mean it didn't rain, just means it didn't rain nearly as much, and maybe 2 or 3 times a week instead of 4 or 5 times a week, and that amount adds up over time. And 2019, so 2015, 4 years later, 2019, there was another drought, and that's when I noticed it was in the news often, and even directly affected. Water stations often didn't have water. Water trucks, different parts of the Cebu city metropolitan area and around the different islands, different areas, what they have, they've got a lot of shallow wells that ran dry, and they didn't have enough deeper wells. And at that point in time, they didn't have desalination plants. Now they are building 3, I think, in Cebu metropolitan area, but not sure if they're on time or not. Anyway, generally you don't drink water out of your tap here, out of your faucet, and you get these 5-gallon drums, and they can cost anywhere. A few years ago, I paid 15 pesos, about 30 US cents for 5 gallons, and yesterday it was 25 pesos, about 50 cents, reasonable. And if I wanted it delivered, which I'm less than a block away from one of these places, it was another 25. Anyway, let's go down here to some of the details. Water filling stations in the city are starting to experience a rise in demand, but the resulting scarcity of water due to the heat wave is hindering them from enjoying what should have been the boost in sales. Our water station is really suffering now because we have to stop processing every 30 minutes before we resume. And that's because their equipment can only process so much per hour. And this amounts to several delays in our deliveries, said the owner. And he said despite the struggle, they tried to cater to all their customers and and deliver drinking water within the day. For his part, Jenny Nacion, who works at 4A's Water Lab, said their sales have reached unprecedented numbers due to the extremely hot weather. And this weather is, I walk down the street and, oh, it's very hot today. Well, it's only a degree or two more than average. But that difference from 90 to 92 degrees Fahrenheit, or 32 to 33 or 34, makes a big difference, especially if there isn't a good breeze. He said from selling an average of 100 gallons a day, sales breached the 300 gallon mark on April 4th. So they're over 300 gallons. At times we had to turn down customers because we no longer had water to give. Now, here's the deal. Most of the water refilling stations located in Metro Cebu rely on the Metropolitan Cebu Water District, MCWD, for their supply. There's been some issues with them off and on, and politics and such too, and I'm not going to get into that discussion here. Nacion expressed frustrations over their daily struggle with water supply from MCWD, saying the water district typically starts to provide water at 4 a.m. and then stops at 6 a.m., leaving a mere 2-hour window for usage. Days like this, we have no more water in the tank. The MCWD runs supply only from 4 to 6, and then we don't know when they're going to release water again. There's no prior notice on the water service interruptions. The water scarcity experience in many parts of the country has had ripple effects on communities whose people are left struggling for day-to-day access to water. Another issue is that a lot of the farmers are not planting crops this year because they're not getting the rain that they need, and a lot of those farms are up in the mountains. When the temperatures started to soar, soar isn't quite the right, the temperatures did not start to soar. They raised a couple of degrees on average, and not every day. Yesterday, in fact, I had my windows and doors open, and I was quite comfortable. Most of the day, had a little bit of a breeze, got a fan running. So, they make it sound like it's the end of the world. The water shortage in the city is attributed to drought induced by the El Nino phenomenon. Now, in the next couple of months, we're supposed to go back into a La Nina, and I've watched a couple of weather reports from around the world pretty much stating the same thing. And that'll have a little bit of a delayed effect, but there is a little bit of clouds and rain projected here in the next week or so, I believe, according to my weather app, but we'll just have to wait and see. So my advice, you don't want to hoard water or other items. Toilet paper, for instance, you all remember that during the pandemic. But at the same time, you want to be prepared. Now, prior to the lockdowns, one thing I did, I think I had 3 5-gallon jugs, and I bought 3 more, and I think I've got 6 or 7 now. Forget. But generally, I'd wait until 3 were empty, take them down, get them refilled. Now, our condo no longer supplies that. They would have a delivery once or twice a week, and if I brought the empties down within a day or two, they would bring full ones up. We've got a new Collier's management. I don't know if it was their decision or the owners of the condo decision, but they no longer supply any water. And I've lived in 6 condos in 8 years, and pretty much always been the case where you could get, the condo would have a supply of water, and you could just go down to the front desk and exchange a 5-gallon empty for a full one. But anyway, there's one of these stations like this just half a block away from me, and there's another one a block away from me. So it's convenient enough as long as they have water. And one of my fears during the pandemic, the lockdowns and all the fear was, well, what can go wrong? Planning ahead. These guys get sick, and their businesses close, and there's very little water available, purified water. Well, what's the solution? One solution is to stock up. Another solution is to have some type of your own purification system. And that's what I'm going to be looking into, setting up some kind of, so that I can use tap water in an emergency type situation. There are a number of types of filters available here online, here in the Philippines, and some very popular, do a very good job. You've got 3-stage, you got 6-stage, and different types with different medium to clean water. And I need to do more research. Read read through the comments, because there are people that will comment, and there are a couple brands from the USA that are rather expensive, but probably worth it if they actually do the work. You can do it yourself. There's lots of videos online, information about doing your own, using activated charcoal, and a number of other mediums to have the water run through and clean it and change its taste a little bit. But anyway, more research has to be done, and then hopefully I'll either purchase something or build something. Anyway, all your advice is always welcome. Thanks for coming along. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, plan for emergencies, and we'll see you next time.